Hello, beautiful soul family. Rebecca here, your vibe mentor. This is the place for conscious, purpose-driven entrepreneurs where we help you remove the blocks so that you can manifest abundance through your purpose. So, welcome, welcome. If you are a purpose-driven entrepreneur and looking for a place where you can come together with like-minded individuals, collaborate, learn about online business, or how to remove the blocks that keep you from your purpose, we have a community. It's called the New Earth Construction Team Community. We have a link to join below. We would love to welcome you there. All right, so let's jump right in. The energy has been interesting the last couple of weeks, lots of ups and downs, and quite a few people mentioning working through challenges, whether it's just a feeling of density or sort of that psychic attack where you feel a lot of negative thoughts, or even seeming outside challenges coming excessively. And so I wanted to make a little video to remind you of the simplest and fastest way to shift negative energy. And I try to bring you new and sexy tips and tricks, and they're most of the time new, but today is going to be an oldie but a goodie. Now, watch to the end to make sure that you don't miss it, because there are nuances to how I do this so that we can work with the neuroscience of the brain and the body to get them to start to do this for us so that we don't have to put in so much effort down the road. But the tip and trick is actually one of two, is gratitude. And gratitude is such an amazing energy shifter, transmuter, however you want to say it. But there is nothing. This is the one thing that stands the test of time. And when I ask myself, why is that? It's very interesting to look at some of the more woo-woo experiences that I have had in my life, as well as some of the religious experience I've had in my life. And both of those come to mind when I ask the question, why does gratitude work? And so, from a neuroscience perspective, when we practice cultivating gratitude, ideally at least twice a day, a few minutes, 2, 3 minutes in the morning, maybe even just 5 or 10 things that you're grateful for, whether you write it down in a journal or you have the conversation with your kids on the way to school. And then at the end of the day, ideally, I like to journal at the end of the day to kind of close down the energy and to remind myself of all the wonderful things that happened that day. But if you can do it in conversation throughout the day, if you can set a gratitude reminder on your phone and pick 3 times throughout the day that you are just sitting down and thinking of 5 things that we are grateful for, what you're doing is you're helping create new neural pathways. Now, it takes up to 90 days to get just the nub of a new neural pathway, and about 6 months to a year before you're kind of into that fully formed tree-like structure. So repetition is the key. But over time, especially after 21 days, you're going to start to notice how your brain automatically goes to look for things that it's grateful for, because you have trained it to start to see these things. Now, the brain historically has looked for the negative or what's wrong, because that's the way we trained the brain when we were running from predators, or we had to, protect against the elements. We are no longer in that place, and it's time to reprogram the brain. And then when I look at why does this work? It is interesting that if you follow me, you know that I very much believe that our Creator creates us with intention. We are made with purpose. We are perfectly imperfect for the purpose that we were made for. And so every function in our body and our minds is here to serve a purpose. And I like to call attention to the fact that we are able to have 2 trains of thought at once. Have you ever noticed that you can be having a conversation with someone about last night's events and also thinking about what you want to have for lunch at the same time? That we have the ability to have multiple trains of thought. And I asked the question, this was quite some time ago, what is that? What is the intention of that? Why is that? And it was something that I was pondering and mulling over. And at the same time, first a memory came to mind where I was, one of my very first experiences with someone who was sort of metaphysical outside of astrology, and it kind of threw me for a loop at the time, but was a woman who spoke to trees. And I would ask her, what did the trees talk about? What are they talking about amongst themselves? How are they communicating? And certainly there were some other things other than this, but she said primarily they are in awe. They are praising their creator. They are in awe of the beauty and the amazing system that has been constructed for us. And in a completely separate experience, many years later, another woman felt that she understood the birds, or I think she had just had a single experience where she had heard the birds that day. And I again asked, what were the birds saying? And she said they were praising God. And it's very interesting that, and even now as I say it, my whole body is flooded with goosebumps. So that is our confirmation that this is why gratitude works. This is what we were partially made for. This is why we have that mechanism, that we strengthen our ability, we strengthen our connection to source as we are in gratitude and awe and appreciation, when we're recognizing the beauty and how amazing and awesome this game called life can be. And certainly it won't prevent the difficult times. I'm still very much pounding that question every day. Show me more, show me more, show me more about why we have these ups and downs. What are the benefits of the challenges? And certainly there are many, and I keep getting more and more, but they are kept at bay. They are softened. They are lessened when we remain in gratitude and praise and awe of how beautiful this is. So that is my number one biggest tip, is gratitude. There to this day is nothing faster for shifting and transmuting energy. Literally, I can go to my affirmations and I can have those back pocket phrases that I say to myself. I can sing the Lego song, everything is awesome, right? They don't move the needle as quickly or as effectively as gratitude does. Okay. And the second tip is closely related to brain spotting. Brain spotting, as you know, is a traditional therapy modality that I use and combine with energy healing to help heal complex trauma. It's a somatic therapy. The second biggest, most effective way to shift and transmute difficult energy is to get into the body. It's called heart coherence. If you bring your focus and attention to your heart, but there is even more than just heart coherence, that your body is extremely intelligent. It holds messages for you. The body has access to intelligence far beyond what the brain can access. Of course, cells have memory. Our genetics carry memory from hundreds of thousands of years, or as long as your genetics go back. But the key is it cannot be accessed through the brain. It is only through the body. Whether it's cellular memory or genetic memory, doesn't really matter. Science is still figuring this one out. But the body is intelligent. And if you ask the body, you bring your focus and attention into the body, you find the area of your body that is calling your attention most in this moment, and just be with it. Ask the brain to be quiet, to still, and just watch, not to analyze, not to ask questions, not to seek out answers, but to just watch. And what you'll find is the brain, as you start to do this, if you're new to it, the brain will talk. It wants to figure it out. It wants to analyze. It wants to be the thing that comes up with the response. But if you're quiet and you practice, the brain will start to quiet and the body will start to speak. And you will know it's the body speaking because it often is kind of funny, kind of quirky, doesn't quite make sense. Be like, that's odd, or that doesn't make sense, right? But then it does make sense. One woman, the body was speaking to her through like flying jellyfish, right? It's silly. It's amazing how the body speaks. But it'll bring up memories. It'll bring up thoughts that say, maybe this toxic situation isn't working for me anymore, or maybe I need to do something about the clutter in my basement, whatever your thing is, right? The body has access to intelligence. The brain does not. The brain is often the last to know. So ask the question of the body and then be present with the body and allow it to speak with you. All right. I am on a mission to keep these shorter for you. So we're going to wrap it up. I love you guys. Make sure you like, subscribe, and share. If you'd love to join us in the community, we would love to see you there. Access to courses. I'm putting in new lessons every day, as well as group brain spotting sessions, and of course, community, not to mention all of our live get-togethers and New Earth Construction Team parties we are creating all the time together. All right. I love you guys, and I will see you on the next video. Namaste.